police who investigate crime, and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass and I'm homebound.
No! No!
It just ticks me off. Some pituitary freak makes more in 40 minutes than I make all year.
Who told you life was fair?
Anybody see anything?
What do you think? Slugs are from an automatic, that's all we know. They go through the door, hit the wall, they're too deformed for a positive make.
You don't have one slug to get a match from?
Might get one from the baby.
Mushrooms.
What?
That's what they call them. It's a video game. You shoot at the centipedes. Mushrooms get in the way of the bullets.
That's hysterical.
Hey, give me a break, Max. I didn't make it up. He's a little tired. We're all tired. Nobody ever has a verbal altercation anymore. You notice that? Good fist fight.
Why you always come too late?
Excuse me?
I say, how come the police never there before somebody gets shot?
With all due respect, ma'am, how are we supposed to know before somebody starts shooting?
What happened to the bike?
What? Had an accident.
Come on. What did you see?
He didn't see nothing.
Hey, who's asking you, pal? Huh?
You see him, Tonell?
What am I supposed to know? Everybody in the neighborhood?
Just a possible accomplice to a murder.
That's enough. He's only a boy.
So are the victims, ma'am.
You believe this firepower?
Target, maximum firepower.
You guys are so trigger happy, why don't you join the army?
Superior spraying power, unsurpassed for penetrating steel doors.
That's terrific.
That's the gun that killed the baby.
Well, maybe the gun killed him, but not me.
Ronell, stupid and tough is a bad combination.
Yeah, well, it works for you, man, right?
A lot of partial prints. Only Ronell's for sure. And does that make a case against them? No, it does not.
No, but if he didn't fire the gun, at least he knows who did.
Fine. Great. Only this time make sure a parent is in the room. Otherwise, legally, the kid's flapping his lips for nothing.
Maybe if we knew exactly what you was looking for.
We want to know who pulled the damn trigger. Because it sure as hell looks like your boy did it.
Tell him, Ronnie.
No. I left the gun to Diz.
Who's Diz?
These nuts. Got him!
Yo! Yo! Which one of you guys is Diz Williams?
Diz! Go, man! Come on, man!
You're dissing me. Like I said, I don't know nothing about no shooting.
It's not enough that he had the gun. His prints could have been from any time.
You got a witness who saw him at the shooting.
Who says the little son of a bitch needs a motive?
Max.
What the hell's a motive anyway? He took my seat, bam. He's looking at my girlfriend, bam. I need them shoes, bam. I'm fed up.
Your Honor, with all due respect, isn't this kind of overkill?
Kill? I wouldn't use that word in here if the accused were my client.
Now, I understand you're getting a lot of heat.
Knock off the sermon, Alex. Your client had the gun.
The judge's decision is totally unwarranted.
Mr. Williams was out in front at the time of the murder.
An eyewitness who can see in the dark, very compelling.
The stoop is well lit.
Snoop Dogg!
Who shot the baby?
How do you feel?
Ben, Mr. Howard understands you can convict him. He's ready to deal.
I thought he might be.
He names the buyer of the hit, but he gets tried as a juvenile.
Not a prayer.
Look, I know
We're in
he's
an
not...
epidemic, Brian. Manslaughter 1, he gets sentenced in Supreme Court, and he does the youthful offender maximum.
Deal.
I do this plea, and you're throwing curves.
Believe me, you won't regret it.
You and I wouldn't last 10 minutes in there.
You sure this pays off?
I think I can trust Oxy.
You'd think.
I can't afford not to.
He said he needed to get rid of a business problem.
Somebody burn him on a drug deal?
It was real estate. Said it was 300 large.
But you didn't know a baby was behind the door.
That's why I'm talking to you, man. I didn't know. Ingrams gives me the address of this guy he wants me to do. Mr. K. I'm supposed to go air out his crib.
You thought a real estate tycoon lived in the Winters building?
Like I told you, a mistake.
This guy wants me to do. It's not enough. Do you think it's K like Murray the K or K-Y?
Or K with an E. Couldn't be more than 1,000 variations in New York City.
Psych! 500 more names.
What do you want me to do?
Start with Manhattan. Someone was hired to kill a Mr. K. The hitman went to 315 Jacobs Place. You live at 315 Jameson Place.
So?
What kind of work does your husband do, Mrs. K?
Real estate. What?
A month ago, Edward M. K. deposited $300,000 into his corporate checking account. But he hasn't made a sale since August.
He's stiffed her, madam. Stiffed a drug dealer.
There's your motive.
The kid shot up the wrong apartment. Unbelievable.
In 1986, you were arrested for cocaine possession. Ingram's your dealer?
An arrest with no conviction is not relevant here.
It isn't? You didn't cheat some yuppie banker. Mr. Ingram's, he doesn't sue, he hires a hitman.
You haven't mentioned any incentives for cooperation.
No? Well, how is this? If your client doesn't start talking now, I'll tear his life apart. Real estate boards, clients, skeletons in the closet, light of day, guaranteed.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
You help us out, we'll put him away.
And if you don't?
And if you don't testify, he'll get you sooner or later.
I'd rather it was later. I'd rather go to a loan shark for the 300 grand than take on Michael Ingram's.
Pick Ingram's up. We have enough to charge him.
Without case testimony, come on, Paul.
If this Ingram's hood walks on a technicality, all your good work is bupkis. Offer a man too.
He engineered the death of an infant, for heaven's sake. People will be outraged.
People will forget this outrage as soon as the next outrage hits the front page. Man two, and go for the maximum sentencing.
If it's major fraud, he goes to jail.
Come on, Sam. You can still make an example of him.
No, never. Forget about it. Go away.
Take his money. Put him in the poorhouse. Treble penalties. But don't send him to jail.
What do you get? Nothing.
A dealer and a killer off the street.
Okay. But I want it in writing in letters 8 feet high. When they go for my neck, I want yours in the noose with me.
Suppose I convince the IRS not to prosecute.
I'll bite. Suppose you do.
They take every dime. You don't even keep the dishwasher.
You son of a bitch. You set this up.
The deal is good for 15 seconds. The deal is good for 15 seconds.
I keep the house in Sag Harbor.
No, you don't. 10 seconds.
Mercedes.
They take the Mercedes. 5 seconds.
He indicated he would kill me.
Objection. Indicate. When Mr. K continues, I think... No further questions.
This cash you allege came from the defendant. You said you used it to bail out one of your own projects. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, did you?
Yes. At least I tried, but...
But what? Did your habit interfere with business, Mr. K?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sidebar, Your Honor.
What's this about?
I'm going to impeach his credibility, Judge. He's a cocaine user. Why don't we just go to the record?
Mr. Stone.
Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Mr. K, under the name Edward M. Heyman, you were...
I respectfully refuse to answer on the,
You refuse to answer.
So after Mr. Ingram's told you to air out the dude's crib, what did you do?
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
Just read the police report. You don't have to read the big legal words. Just give us the easy ones. Mr. Howard? You can't read, can you?
What up? I'm Jared, I'm 19, and I never fucking learned how to read.
No further questions?
5 minutes later.
Mr. Jones, do you think the murder conviction will stand on appeal?
Absolutely. There's no reversible error here. Michael Ingram's is as guilty of killing that little boy as if he pulled the trigger himself.
Any further comments?